know what? This is episode 126 coming up. Next week is episode 127. So it's like we've done 127 hours. And it has not been as painful as the movie.
So
No
what you're
arms,
saying is,
yes, we have not had to chop off any of our limbs to get out of this.
oh, that movie.
Yeah, that movie.
Was that Ashton Kutcher?
I can't remember who it was. Anyways, just saying. Listen, the other day,
That's a long time.
it's a long time to be stuck under a rock. Thank you, Morgan. Morgan saying that it was James Franco. It makes a lot more sense. Ashton Kutcher didn't make sense in my head. How you doing?
Doing well. Just getting up to speed here.
Well, listen, I'm gonna actually share something, which my son, our producer, said don't share, but I'm gonna share it anyways because for me, I don't know about you. I actually have a question for you. If you're the same as me, because almost every day of the week, because I'm not always here, I can't stop putting on my underwear.
I think that's a good thing.
Well, I keep forgetting to not do it. So I like literally my routine is shower, put on my underwear, and then like, oh, right. And then switch back to pajamas bottoms. I still wear like, I'm one of those people who, and I still can't get it in my head. Like it's really ingrained. I don't know. Are you like, just dress normally every day?
Yes.
You are. Okay. You didn't want to answer truthfully there. I could tell. I know. I just couldn't. It's one of the luxuries that we have at this moment is that we don't have to go out. I actually wonder if the world, like if you look at all the different economic factors, if the number of pants sales has gone down. Specific shirt sales stays up, but pants sales go down. I'm just wondering if it
Pajama sales skyrocketing.
And maybe pajama skills.
Maybe
yes.
Like animal onesies. Do you think this could be their time to take off?
No, because you're still waist up. You're still going to work in front of a camera.
Yeah, so, but like you don't put it on all the way. You just like keep the pants
half
up.
Onesies, right? And then once you're done, you just get wrapped into a nice snuggle of stuff.
Yeah.
Of furry. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe. Okay. Next question. What's the average number of arms people have? Like, oh, jeez. Ruin that one.
This is like, I mean, people have like, 2.53 kids. So, they have like.
Yeah. It's
like
that.
1.8 arms.
Yes, it is. Right. Because if you, it's, I was watching an economics thing over the weekend and it's like, let me explain statistics to you. The average number of arms people have is, 1.98 or something else like that. Anyways, forget it. My humor punchline thing, it's off right now.
Well, that's cool.
It ain't working.
It's showtime.
Thank goodness. Well, maybe, yes. All right. I got to rewrite that one. Let's do the show.
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt, the show to support small business not just to survive, but to thrive.
That's right. We are live with COVID Marketing episode number 126. Mondays at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time, except next week, which will be Tuesdays at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions on marketing or business or whatever, you let us know in the comments, wherever you fine folk are seeing this. I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitguys, and with me is Mr. Arthur Tutt, a marketing specialist at the KZ.
And if you like what you see here and our amazing jokes, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notify button so you never miss a show.
126.
I saw
soon
that.
To be 127. What did you see?
Cowboy hat.
Oh, dude. Nobody's allowed to go past there without wearing a funny hat. See?
It's good
Funny
because like
hats.
the red of the hat blends in with the red wall, so it was almost like a chameleon.
He's trying to hide. Yes, that's why he probably chose that one. No, it's like if you're going to be part of the show, you need to be part of the show. Just saying.
Big brother.
Yeah, I cannot believe we're going to hit 127 episodes of the show next week. Dude stealing the show, man. All right. So let's do 126.
126. So we
Yep.
have some questions for you.
All right. We're going to do the Q&A.
Do a little Q&A smorgasbord here.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let's just jump into it.
Yes. Are you ready to jump into it? That's
Jumping into it.
You know, when people say that's a good question, they're saying that because they're trying to buy some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's just jump into it. You're trying to buy some time, are you?
That was a good answer, Brent.
All right. So do the questions.
All right. First question up. How do you advertise your business?
Mr.
Mr. Marketer, how do you do marketing?
How do you advertise
you?
your business? Well, marketing and advertising is slightly different. Advertising is part of marketing. Okay, let me actually ask you, because you're the one who should know, not me. How do we advertise right now?
So first of all, I was going to say it's actually an interesting position being in, being a marketing and advertising agency, because it's kind of like there's two threads here, right? Because we work for clients, so we do advertising for them, but then sometimes we also realize, oh wait, we need to do advertising for ourselves too. So there's two sides of the coin there.
Yeah, well, there is and there isn't, right? Because oftentimes advertising doesn't make sense for a business, even if they provide advertising services, other than the fact that, play around with it and understand what's going on there. Oftentimes, I'm not saying all the time, I'm saying oftentimes. So there can be and it can matter not necessarily just by the type of business it is, but where the business is in whatever their business cycle is, what their actual objectives are. So anyways, continue. What are we doing right now? I'm actually curious. I don't know.
What are we doing? So we've got a few initiatives on the go. The big one right now is our YouTube advertising campaign.
All right.
And so for a little context, so if we go back to once upon a time in March 2020, which feels like an awfully long time ago, I believe the KZ YouTube channel had all of about 5 subscribers.
Yes.
And do you know what it's at today, Brent?
I have no idea what it's at today.
So we've just hit 280.
Okay. Awesome. Cool.
So that means we're almost at 300.
And what does that mean to you?
Which means we're almost able to monetize. We just have 720 more subscribers to go.
Okay, cool.
I don't know about you, but I'm very, very excited to start seeing part of that revenue share once we monetize.
All right. So other than it being a vanity metric, which is great, I can be vain. What does that mean?
So, I mean, what we've been doing is on YouTube, we've been running YouTube discovery ads.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to kind of push the YouTube algorithm to help to promote our content.
Yeah.
And we've been exploring with it, both advertising in North America. I don't know why I'm holding my hand grips right now. Might be like a stress relief subconsciously going on. But also exploring what happens when we go and we advertise around the world.
Yeah.
And looking at the free markets of advertising, and how much does it cost to advertise different places around the world. Yeah. And so we do have one campaign going in Southeast Asia, because we can get views for about a penny a view.
Yes.
And so with I'm going to say a very small investment of just a couple of dollars a day, we've been able to every day kind of generate a few new subscribers to the point where I think we're getting almost 5 to 10 new subscribers a week now. Or
Yeah.
sorry, hold on, I'm doing some quick math. No, we're getting almost like 30 subscribers a week now. So we're getting about 5 new subscribers a day.
Okay. So I know that whoever's watching this is probably thinking, well, who cares about Southeast Asia? You're not selling to them, are you?
Hey,
And
Vietnam and Cambodia are growing markets.
yes. So this is where I often have conversations with clients of understand the different strategies that are going on here. Now, sure, some of this is pure vanity metric, like pure vanity from a brand perspective. So if somebody checks out our YouTube channel and they see, oh, they've got a bunch of videos, but they don't all have videos with 2 or 3 views. There's some of those, but some of them have 1,500, some of them have 45,000. Like, then they're like, oh, okay, there's something going on there with them. And somebody might then believe something else that we say, which is a little bit of BS and a little bit of smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. That has some aspect to some positive benefit for it, but that kind of stuff I usually don't care about, because that kind of stuff tends to muddy the waters. It's the same thing as when you buy, likes on Facebook for $250 and you get 5 or 10,000 likes. And none of those people are paying attention to you. So it becomes harder to advertise and understand what your advertising dollar is doing, because every time you do a boost to the fans of your page, you're boosting to all these 10,000 people. Most of them don't care about you. So yes, go ahead.
I'm going to disagree on that point, because I feel like we're putting out some very good, very strong marketing content, and I'm very excited for those people in Southeast Asia that are learning some valuable lessons and are going to start their marketing careers. I have a full belief in them.
Yes. And so because we're not buying 5,000 fake followers, we're actually putting this in front of people. And if they like it and they subscribe, great. That's where I talk about when you're putting out content. Yes, there's your target client, and everybody wants to get the target client to connect with their content and buy from them. But then there's also the audience that you're starting to create and engender and have that conversation about. And so if you can have people engage with your content, communicate about that content, it actually broadens your reach in social world. So if your audience increases and more people start to comment on it, then all the algorithms will say, okay, this is actually good content, and we'll share it further and wider. The other thing that it allows us to do is it actually allows us to actually test our content. So the more people we can get in front looking at it, then we like what actually works. Like, let's learn what actually resonates. And now obviously Southeast Asia is a different market than ours. So some of what we do that, is interesting there may not be as interesting to people in Canada or North America or Toronto. But there's still going to be similarities of, are we actually producing something that's entertaining, something that's valuable, something that's educational, something that answers people's questions? Like, business is business. The similarities are equal all over the world. The marketing world is equal all over the world. There might be different platforms, but the principles are all very similar. So that's what that advertising thing. Are we doing anything else, or we've stopped everything else? That's all that we're doing at the moment.
So we've experimented in a number of areas. That's the main area that we're advertising in right now.
Okay, so everything's pulled back while we're just trying to do all the other stuff.
Yep. I think yeah, we're going through a period of regrouping, refocusing, and figuring out what the priority is.
Okay, so
and obviously this YouTube channel is the priority.
Yeah, it's because the audience who's watching this right now is the priority.
Shout out to David Blackmore.
Yay! Hey. And there's a good example. David, our connection with him has grown, and changed from when he was just somebody that I knew that was watching our channel to somebody that was contributing to the conversation so that more people saw and connected with us, to somebody that was giving us feedback and actually came on the show, to somebody that did our intro and outro music, to somebody that was working for us here for a number of months, which was pretty epic. So that's the type of thing. Is David necessarily going to purchase something directly from us? That doesn't necessarily make sense for him at this moment. Maybe it will a year, 2 years, or 6 months, or whatever. But that's why advertising to get in front of people doesn't necessarily mean get people buying specifically, depending on what your objectives are. Obviously, if your objectives are to get people buying specifically, then you advertise for that purpose. We actually did that for a while. I was doing both search engine optimization, spending about 20K a year on copywriting and all that kind of stuff, which we've gotten back into recently for our business, and Google AdWords. So actually straight up intention based. If you want to get web design, or marketing, come buy it from us. And at the time I turned off Google AdWords. So I had it on for a while, got leads. It was great. But the leads were harder than to land and took more time to land than naturally somebody that said, hey, you guys should use these people. And they were only talking to us. There was no due diligence, 3 people, anything else like that. So my time at that point was more valuable servicing those easier leads and then working on the business rather than trying to generate. So that's what I mean by, depending on what your objectives are, it's going to vary what you might want to do. That's why whenever we speak with clients, that's our first thing. Like, what are your ambitions? What are you trying to achieve? What actually makes sense? How much money are you willing to spend, and what does that need to happen for you? Some clients are willing to spend a lot of money and it doesn't need to really show a direct return for years. And some are like, if I spend $1,000 this next month, I need $1,000 back, or 2,000, or 5,000, or sometimes 500. And you need to understand that really clearly yourself as you get into advertising. So other than that, how we've mostly advertised our business in the past is a lot of community involvement, really connecting with people. That's had a lot of legs over the years, because referrals are amazing. Yeah. So I don't know. There's our advertising question.
Okay. Here's a good one. Mm-hmm. Do you use the services of a professional accountant or attorney?
Yeah. Okay. So yes. And I would say to anybody who's watching this, who's an entrepreneur or a business person, you want to get rid as quick as possible first I would say accounting, your accounting, bookkeeping, and all that kind of stuff. Because if you own a business, that means you're looking to have some level of growth. Now, obviously, it still has to make sense with your cash flow and all that type of stuff. But unless you really, really enjoy it, that's the part of the business you like, you want to get rid of all of the cost side equations of your business and taking your time versus the growth side of your business, which is going out there, meeting people, calling people, servicing your existing clients, all of that kind of stuff. Because if you're on the cost side, there's the only value. Let's put it this way. Say a bookkeeper is $25 an hour and you don't want to spend that $25 an hour and it's whatever it is. The only value that you get from that bookkeeper not doing the work is $25 an hour. So think to yourself, do I want more than that in my business? Do I want to grow more than that? Can I add more value in that 2 hours or 5 hours or 20 hours of time in my business doing, and then think of whatever activity it is that you're now going to do that is worth more than $25 an hour. And usually it's going to be call people, connect with them, generate sales and generate revenue, work on your marketing and your advertising, work on your content, all that kind of stuff. Because you're in the business, that's what a business is, the differentiation between employment and aggregating all of those resources into some sort of entity that actually brings something a little bit more. So yeah, I would say get rid of those as quickly as you possibly can. Obviously, still be good. And then in terms of don't going into debt and all that kind of stuff. And then in terms of an attorney, probably not. We're not. I mean, we do have a lawyer, but we probably aren't using lawyer, like attorneys, in actually, I think an American term. We don't think we have. Actually, don't think we have attorneys in Canada. But we're not using ours as much as we should. Meaning, we haven't had our contracts vetted recently. Employment or client contract. Like there's probably a lot of different things that would be really good to use our attorney, which is fine. You know, there's a cost benefit aspect to that, but attorney I think of as risk mitigation, meaning just make sure that the things that you're doing mitigate any sorts of risks. So every business operates at a certain level of risk. That's what that's part of the reason why business owners get a bit of an upside is because they're operating at a certain level of risk. You know, as a business owner, you do not have employment standards that says, you know, you're not, if for some reason your business fails, you don't suddenly get like, you know, 3 months, you know, a month notice for every year or 2 weeks notice for every year you've had that business. Your business just fails. There are benefits as well, obviously, which offset those risks. And they're usually tax benefits. But yeah, so I would say the answer is yes, but not as much as we should, which is going to be part of our 2021 plan. As we grown, we're sort of now up leveling in terms of that kind of overhead.
Okay. Just to reframe the question a little bit. So if this was coming from the point of view of somebody who is, say, just looking to start a new business.
Yeah.
Would you recommend, you know, before you start a business, should you be consulting with an accountant and a lawyer? Or is it something where it's like, all right, now that you're like maybe 6 months, a year into the business and you're starting to see more revenue, that's the time to bring in other professionals? What would you say there?
I mean, obviously it depends on the size of the business. Some businesses need to be really super set up right away, right? When eBay started, eBay was of a certain size. So they had all of that kind of stuff. I would say the typical solo entrepreneur just starting things going. No, just you need to sell first. You need to get clients. You need to
Get
get
the
revenue.
business up and running.
You need to understand if you have a business first.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Do I have a business? Can I get somebody to buy my services or even product? Now, if you're like opening up a restaurant chain or something like that, that's a completely different story. Like, yeah, of course, you need a level of infrastructure to support you. And the answer is, yeah, get those right away. Yeah, so for that sort of side hustle / I want to get things going, I wouldn't over index on all the attorneys and stuff, especially, and there are again caveats depending on what's going on here. If you're that person that has that idea and you want to create an app or a website that services a community or something else like that, I say don't spend a lot of time and money on the stuff that is the infrastructure of the business versus figuring out if you actually have an idea that people will buy from. I've certainly seen that where they've got their lawyer and the lawyer's creating NDAs for them and all sorts of different structures. And I was just like, you are way closer to not even sure if you have an idea than I've got a full on vetted idea of which I want to implement.
Right.
And I've seen that go to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
yeah. So for somebody just starting out, do your market research to confirm that you do have a business and a viable idea. and then as necessary, as revenue
Yeah.
supports it, then bring in the important pieces.
And to be clear, by market research, I do not mean spend $50,000 on market research. I mean literally figuring out how you can pick up the phone, talk with somebody. If it's your best friend, that's cool, but your best friend now has to buy the thing from you. Like they have to literally give you money. Wonderful. Would you? I'm glad that you like that it's an idea. Will you pay me $50 or whatever the number is? And there's a whole other episode. I think we've actually talked about it of the process that I like to go through as far as getting to that actual minimum viable. It's almost like not even a minimum viable product. It's like a minimum viable question or a minimal viable sales proposition. Yeah. All right. I think that's it.
Give it a wrap. Just want to say, David Blackmore says he appreciates us guys, and we just want to say, David Blackmore, we appreciate you, guy.
Oh, totally appreciate you. So happy. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Yeah. And being part of the team. All right, let's do it.
You've tuned in to COVID Marketing with Brent Kobayashi and Arthur Tutt, the show that supports small business not just to survive, but to thrive.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The sultry voice of Mr. David Blackmore in our outro music. If you want any outro and intro music, call David Blackmore. He's available at blackmoremedia.com. Do I have that right? Hold on. I'm sure I do. Yes, Blackmore, M-O-R-E, media.ca, not .com, blackmoremedia.ca. Oh, that was a quick save. Thank you very much for coming to talk with us about marketing in business stuff. What questions do you have for us that you'd like us to answer? Please leave them in the comments. Send a DM. Let's get in touch and we'll do the thing. Now, on next week's show, we'll be doing Tools We Use Part 5, except we're lying liars because we're not. We're going to do cool stuff from the marketing world. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you next week.
See you next